Okay, so I think this will be the last video, this fourth video, where I will explain the final assignment submission. So if you click here in the page, you will find the instructions and the good assignment example. So it's an example from like you can follow as a guideline. It's important also to recognize that this example is not perfect. It got a good grade. I think it got A, but even A's are not 100% correct. So don't follow it blindly. Always keep in mind what I mentioned, the feedback that I give you, and do not think like, oh, they did it like this. They are like the Bible. I need to follow that. No, they are not the Bible. You should not even follow the Bible, but do not follow them blindly. Uh, but critical also from what they do. Like they did a good job, but it's not totally perfect. So be critical in that sense. Let's open the first file instructions. So first thing here that was supposed to be two students, but now it will be three because we are more than expected. So it will be groups of three students that will do this project. And the topics are already there. Everyone will share one. We all will try to explain what influences the use of AI or the usage of AI among university students. We think that this topic is very relevant because it's a thing that's happening at the university, but also at work. A lot of accountants are using or not using AI, and we need to understand why or how and why not, why yes or why not, why maybe. So it's very, I think, very important topic, the use of AI among university students. And we will try to explore this topic from five different angles. And this is where we will divide the groups. So group one and group two will try to understand if this concept, environmental sustainability awareness, influences the usage of AI among university students. We will develop this throughout the lectures, the workshops, everything, because we need to create the argument for why we need to study this. I mean, like, if we do it very quickly right now, AI usage has an environmental impact, right? So maybe students who are more aware of environmental issues will maybe have less intentions to use AI because of this impact, maybe, or maybe not, because maybe they are so aware that they really understand what's going on, and maybe the impact is not that much. That's what we will want to study. So that is one topic. Group one will study that. The second topic is technology literacy. Maybe people who are good with technology will use AI more, or maybe not, because maybe they are so good that they realize that AI right now is not that well developed. That's an interesting question. Let's try to find the answer. So that's for groups three and four. Then groups five and six will discuss locus of control. Locus of control is a concept that tells you how much you like to control things. For example, I recognize that I like to control things. That's why I have so many checkpoints. That's why I have so many labs and I have so many submissions, because I want to control that you are in the right track. So my locus of control is very high because I like to control things. So people who are like me, who like to control things, would they like to use AI? Maybe yes, because they feel they can control AI. Like people are less controllable, or the opposite, like maybe AI is not that controllable. That will be interesting to discuss and study. Next, skepticism in the American English and skepticism in the British one. I think it's K for American and C for British. But this is also very important because as auditors, you want to be skeptical. Uh, that's probably you learned that with Andreas, but is that will that have an impact on AI? Maybe yes, because maybe people will not trust AI that easily, or maybe no, because maybe they actually don't trust people, but they trust the technology. Let's discuss what will happen. So it's also, I think, interesting to try to see if skepticism or skepticism will impact the usage of AI. And finally, professional aspirations. Like if someone really wants to be successful as a professional, will they be willing to adopt AI? Maybe yes, because it's the trend, or maybe not, because they think it's something that it's not going to have that much impact. It's more important to develop core skills to be professionally successful. That I think everything is interesting, right? Like all the concepts make sense or not, and we need to find the answer. So we will study that in here. And basically what we are going to do, the steps of what we are going to do is first today we need to create the groups. Well, it keep repeating two, but it's three students and choose a topic. So you can choose your own topic. So to try to fill in as soon as possible in Canvas so the topic that you want doesn't get full that quick. Second, we are going to write, and I will explain that in much more detail, the chapters of the whole thing, because uh, we are going to write like a mini thesis in this course. Of course, it's going to be mini, and I will help a lot. So I will give you a lot of things, but it's going to be hard work. There are many things that you will need to do, and we will work hard to do this. But it's really a mini thesis, the same structure. You'll have the same chapters, the same sections, everything just smaller, and I will help a lot. I will give you many things that maybe in your thesis you will have to do on your own. So what we are going to do is first to write the background problematization and conduct a literature review. So basically to argue why this concept is important in relationship with this other concept. Why do we need to study this? Uh, that's these two things, background and problematization. And then you will conduct a literature review. What do we already know? Which previous studies have already studied this connection or close to this? And what do we know? From previous studies, what would we expect that will happen? So that's what you will do in step one. Write that introduction and the literature review. Step two, you will write the methodological choices and justify why you are doing this. This is going to be a bit funny because you need to write like like in a way where you explain that you chose these methods, but it's a bit of a lie because I am forcing you to use these methods. This again, the structure or the design of the course. Maybe you will say, instead of interviews, I would like to do focus groups, but we don't have the time to do a focus group. We need to do interviews. I already have the plan for that, and it's so short time that we need to do it like this. So you need to write that you decided to do interviews, and you need to justify why and all of this. So it's going to be a bit weird because maybe you would like to do a third method, but we don't have time to do a third method. And also, in a way, it's a bit like real life research because sometimes you want to do something, but you don't have access to that, or you don't have the resources, you don't have the money or the time, so you end up doing whatever you can. But when you write, you still need to write like you really had the choice. So it's a bit weird, but it's also real that you have a lot of limitations. You need to write the methodology. I will talk about all of this in more detail later. Then step three, and this is very, very important that you understand it here. We are going to create a survey, one single survey for the whole group. And that survey will give us the quantitative data that we will use for the whole group, for everyone. So it's not going to be individual surveys for each group. It's going to be one for the whole classroom. So I will explain how to do that in the lectures as well. But it's very important that you understand it's one single survey. I will create the survey based on your lab one submissions, and then I will share the link, and I will ask you to share that link with your friends because we need to have a total of 100, 150 answers in order to analyze that data. So I think we need that each person you can answer on your own, and then maybe three more people. So minimum three more. I think ideally five more. We will have enough people. We'll have enough sample for this. Then step four, prepare an interview guide. This interview guide is different from the survey. The survey is one for everyone and it's numeric. It will be like from 1 to 10, select here. Your everything is numbers in the survey. But in the interview guide is the opposite. It's going to be one interview guide for each group. So we'll have 9 different interview guides. And that interview guide is very flexible. You have more possibility to do or to do less, do more. I will explain all of this. So interview guide is per group for each group. We'll have 9 in total. And then each group will conduct 3 interviews. So you will have to do interviews. I will also give you more details about this later, but 3 interviews of at least half an hour each, where you will ask someone about this topic. I will give you everything that you need to know on conducting the interview. You will record and transcribe the interview into text, and then we will analyze it in the next workshop. So in the first workshop, we will develop this interview guide. Then you do the survey, the interview, record it, transcribe it with AI. I will teach you. And then the week after, we will analyze that qualitative data. So this the findings will come in lab 2 and workshop 2. You will be done with findings, but you need to discuss those findings against previous literature. Did you find something new? Did you support previous assumptions and conclusions, or do you have new conclusions? That's what the discussion is about. And finally, you will write a conclusion. It's usually easy to write a conclusion, and then we will actually not present. There is no presentation. I think I should actually remove this step 7 because we are not going to present. More like present, just write your research project, like submit your research paper. There is no presentation, only that. Here is much more detail about it. I will not go into detail about what to do because I will actually go into detail in the checkpoints. I will go into detail in each chapter. I will create a video for each chapter explaining in detail what I mean with all of these things. Also, like swapping between this and the good example. But this is what you need to write. It's also a good kind of guidance for your thesis. It's very good. You can follow this. And finally, you have the rubric. The rubric is a little bit different, slightly different in the description from what Andreas has from the study guide for the whole course. But it's the same thing, just in here, I think I improved the description because before I think it was very basic. It's the same thing, but just with better words. So there is nothing new. The percentages are the same, but I think the description is better in here. So it's 100 points. This is how many points you get from each of the rubric elements. So if you check, I went too far back, but if you check the good assignment example, it looks like this. It's loading. This example is from a different topic. They were studying student happiness and financial stress. That's something that we used to do before. But in your case, it will be, for example, sustainability awareness and AI usage, how sustainability awareness influences or not AI use. And then we have here, if you take a look at the instructions and the table of contents is almost the same, like the same structure. And then you have in here, you can take a look at what they did, but it looks like a lot of work, but I mean, it is, but everything that we do in every workshop, every lab, every checkpoint is building this brick by brick. So it looks like a lot, but you will do it naturally, organically. Just participating in the course will give you all of this. It's very natural how it comes. So that's the idea with the assignment. I don't think we are missing anything, and that's also I think the end of the introduction for this very first lecture. So I hope everything is all right, and let's see. It looks bad for me, but I hope everything gets better and we can meet in person at least in the workshop 1 or workshop 2. Let's see. Well, have a nice day.